and just being myself, someone who I respect has looked at me and said, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are you even
for
saying?
Sure.
And you remember that because it kind of,
Yeah.
it stiff arms you.
Robert Downey Jr. is back in the headlines, and it's not just because he's returning to the Marvel Universe. Despite speculation that he might show up in Deadpool 3 or another Ryan Reynolds project, the truth is far more complicated. Most fans adore Ryan Reynolds for his quick wit and charming persona, so the idea of our DJ flat out refusing to collaborate with him has sent shockwaves across social media. Is it possible that there's a side to Ryan Reynolds we're not seeing? Or did Robert Downey Jr. simply have other plans in the works? What seems like a straightforward showbiz decision, turning down a cameo, has quickly spiraled into rumors of deeper conflict. Whispers abound that Ryan Reynolds' behind-the-scenes attitude might not match his public nice guy image. Even more intriguingly, his wife, Blake Lively, has been pulled into the swirling storm of allegations. How did the beloved Hollywood power couple become embroiled in controversies involving co-stars, film crews, and even insider tipsters claiming they're not who we think they are? By the time we're done, you might see these fan-favorite personalities in an entirely new light. So buckle up, because the deeper you go, the more tangled this web becomes. And while Robert Downey Jr.'s refusal might be the spark that lit the fuse, there's a lot more drama waiting to be uncovered. When news first dropped that Ryan Reynolds wanted Robert Downey Jr. to appear in his Deadpool franchise, many fans saw it as a match made in superhero heaven. After all, Tony Stark's wisecracking persona and Deadpool's irreverent humor seemed like a comedic goldmine. The cameo rumors began circulating around the time Deadpool 3 was in its early stages, and plenty of insiders hinted that our DJ could pop up for a quick, crowd-pleasing scene. However, what shocked fans the most wasn't that our DJ declined. It was how quickly he reportedly said no. In an industry where cameo crossovers are the norm, a refusal this abrupt begged for an explanation. Was our DJ too busy? Was it all due to scheduling conflicts? Or was something brewing behind the scenes that made him wary of working with Ryan Reynolds? Those questions got a lot louder when other details surfaced. As Marvel's cinematic universe continues evolving post-Avengers, Endgame, our potential return to the big screen, has been a hot topic. Fans clamored for an Iron Man cameo somewhere, anywhere, and Deadpool 3 felt like the perfect vehicle. Yet the rumor mill quickly pivoted from will our DJ appear to why did he apparently slam the door on Ryan so definitively? Some reports claim our DJ was already in serious talks to play another role in the Marvel world, one that would preclude him from comedic cameos or flashy crossovers. Others suggest a more personal reason for avoiding a collaboration with Reynolds. And that's when the spotlight turned to the controversies slowly unraveling around Ryan and Blake. Controversies that have become too big for Hollywood to ignore. The question everyone's asking now is whether our DJ's choice was purely professional, or if he was trying to steer clear of a brewing storm that's beginning to tarnish Ryan's once spotless reputation. Ryan Reynolds built his career on witty banter and a laid-back persona. From his early rom-com days to his edgy Deadpool antics, audiences typically see him as an effortlessly cool and amusing star. But stardom can sometimes cloak the realities of on-set behavior. When TJ Miller, who played Weasel in the first 2 Deadpool films, publicly called out Reynolds for being horrifically mean, it took many fans by surprise. Miller alleged that Ryan belittled him in front of the crew, reinforcing a hierarchy where Ryan was the undisputed top dog. And TJ Miller isn't alone. Rumors started swirling that Marina Baccarin, who portrayed Deadpool's love interest in the first film, stepped back largely because of friction behind the scenes. While her public statements remained diplomatic, she praised the franchise and recognized how pivotal her character was. Insider gossip hinted that Ryan's need for creative control clashed with the direction some cast and crew members wanted for her character. Ultimately, she was sidelined from larger involvement in later films. If that weren't enough, director Tim Miller, no relation to TJ, famously parted ways with the Deadpool franchise after the first film, despite its massive box office success. At the time, he couched it in creative differences, but later interviews revealed deeper issues. Tim Miller felt overshadowed by Ryan's desire to micromanage everything from script tweaks to marketing strategies. So, what's going on behind closed doors? Is Ryan's comedic persona a front for a controlling nature that thrives in the background? Fans who've adored his social media quips and self-deprecating jokes might be taken aback at the notion that he's a different person when cameras aren't rolling. But as more first-hand accounts trickle out, the glimmering image of everybody's favorite funny guy starts to show some serious cracks. Cracks deep enough to make a legend like Robert Downey Jr. possibly think twice about teaming up. The controversies don't end on the Deadpool set. A new wave of allegations burst onto the scene when commentator Candace Owens shared claims from an unnamed source, exposing Ryan Reynolds' possible involvement in the conflict between Blake Lively and actor-director Justin Baldoni. If you haven't followed that saga, Justin Baldoni reportedly found himself on the receiving end of career-altering hostility that might have its roots in Ryan's sudden appearance on a film set where Blake was starring. According to Owens' source, Ryan Reynolds insisted on reviewing footage from the day's shoots, a task ordinarily reserved for directors and key production personnel. Something in those dailies unsettled him, leading to a reported blow-up in Blake's trailer. From that point on, Ryan supposedly inserted himself into every facet of production. He made script changes, demanded alterations to scenes, and generally acted like a chaperone, overshadowing Baldoni in the process. The tension exploded once the movie wrapped. Allegedly, Ryan confronted the biggest talent agency in Hollywood with an ultimatum: side with him and Blake, or continue supporting Justin Baldoni at your own peril. Soon after, Baldoni claimed he was unceremoniously dropped and effectively blackballed, forcing him to watch major opportunities slip away. Why the drama? Candace Owens hinted that Ryan's behavior stemmed from jealousy, insecurities, or perhaps an unspoken fear that Baldoni's presence on set was a threat. Whatever the root cause, the allegations paint a troubling picture of a star using his influence to sabotage a fellow actor. The blowback also dragged in Blake Lively, painting her as someone who supports or even echoes Ryan's controlling style. It's no small feat to gain enough power in Hollywood to dismantle another actor's career, but Ryan's seemingly unstoppable success with the Deadpool franchise, alongside countless endorsement deals, has given him substantial leverage. Moreover, the synergy of Ryan and Blake as a beloved Hollywood couple, complete with viral moments, red carpet banter, and comedic jabs, adds to their clout. If you're an industry exec, turning them down is far riskier than brushing off someone of lesser star power. Many fans initially brushed off these claims as gossip, but as Candace Owens doubled down on the story, more details emerged, adding weight to what might once have been dismissed as far-fetched rumor. As these rumors bubbled under the surface, another unexpected voice chimed in: Martha Stewart. Known for her frankness and wit, she casually mentioned that Ryan Reynolds isn't as funny off-screen as people imagine. At first glance, that might sound like a mild criticism. Maybe he's just reserved or focused in real life. But the timing of her remarks raised eyebrows. Why call him out publicly right when negative rumors were starting to surge? Internet sleuths were quick to point out Martha's subtle phrasing, suggesting it might be code for a bigger statement. Ryan is serious, not fun, and possibly not the charming personality he constantly portrays in interviews. Some have interpreted her mild words as a polite way of saying Ryan has a dark edge, something the public doesn't see. Beyond Martha Stewart, other anonymous producers and crew members have hinted that they, too, have seen the cracks in Ryan's playful facade. In an industry built on relationships and reputations, it's telling when people who have worked with a star begin whispering consistent stories. Micromanagement, controlling tendencies, and an undercurrent of tension that surfaces if you cross him. To be fair, none of these insiders claim Ryan is a total monster. Rather, they suggest he's become consumed by the power his success has granted him. The comedic charm remains his public armor, but behind it lies a relentless drive to get what he wants, even if it means sidelining co-stars or overshadowing directors. Still, Martha's comments stand out. She's a household name, and typically measured in her speech. Some suspect that if she's willing to drop even a minor hint that Ryan isn't the person we think he is, there may be more she's not saying. Could it be that his once untouchable reputation is finally ripe for questioning? Until recently, many fans saw Blake Lively as Ryan's genial counterpart, a talented actress known for her red carpet fashion and captivating performances in films like The Shallows or A Simple Favor. But recent rumors suggest Blake might share the same intense need for control that people are attributing to Ryan. Anna Kendrick, Blake's co-star in the Simple Favor films, has been suspiciously tight-lipped when asked about working alongside her. While Anna is known to be candid and lighthearted in interviews, she notably dodged questions that tried to stir up friendly chatter about her relationship with Blake. The rumor mill says Anna wants to distance herself from Blake, worried that co-promoting their sequel might turn into an endless stream of questions about lawsuits, behind-the-scenes drama, and conflicts involving Justin Baldoni. According to insiders, the friction stems from Blake's influence over production details, ranging from poster layouts to who gets top billing. In the promotional material for the Simple Favor sequel, Anna's name appears first, but Blake's is perched higher, almost overshadowing Anna visually. It sounds minor, but in Hollywood, billing can be everything. The nuance of who gets top placement can spark debates over star power, box office draw, and personal egos. Is this arrangement a simple design quirk or a calculated move to elevate Blake? Add the swirling allegations that Blake encouraged or allowed Ryan to sabotage Justin Baldoni, and you get a picture of a couple fiercely intent on maintaining their status. Perhaps it's a ride or die partnership where both are protecting each other's interests, no matter the cost. But from an outsider's perspective, these stories of controlling behavior and behind-the-scenes manipulations cast a long shadow on the golden couple's polished image. On the surface, Marvel is a kingdom of carefully orchestrated crossovers and star-studded blockbusters. Adding Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool to that mix was already a bold move, given how irreverent the character is compared to the rest of the MCU. Fans thrilled at the idea of comedic collisions between Deadpool, the Avengers, and other iconic characters. So it felt like a no-brainer to bring on Robert Downey Jr. for a cameo, bridging new comedic ground. But Hollywood is a place where real-life tensions inevitably seep into deals. If Ryan's reputation continues to deteriorate, Disney and Marvel might weigh the risk of further collaboration. No matter how popular Deadpool is, a star embroiled in controversies can tarnish an otherwise carefully curated brand. And with RDJ's potential reemergence as either Tony Stark in flashbacks or possibly even stepping into a new role like Doctor Doom, as some leaks have speculated, Marvel may want to shield him from messy drama that could overshadow big announcements or overshadow the very brand synergy they rely on. Insiders also note that once you become a brand liability, top-tier executives start to question whether the box office returns justify the headaches. Ryan's charm has historically outweighed any minor negativity until now. With each new rumor, from TJ Miller's comments to Justin Baldoni's legal battles, the question becomes, is Ryan Reynolds a safe bet? And how does Blake Lively fit into all this? As an actress who has been eyeing roles in bigger franchises and major drama pieces, does she risk being impacted by the swirl around her husband? If studio executives sense that pairing them in any capacity results in behind-the-scenes tension, they might shy away from future collaborations. Meanwhile, Robert Downey Jr. holds one of the strongest reputations in Hollywood. He's weathered personal storms in the past, only to become one of the most respected figures in the industry. If he feels the environment around Ryan is toxic, it's easy to imagine him bowing out to preserve his own brand integrity, leaving the cameo door wide open for someone else. At this point, people are speculating nonstop about the real reason behind RDJ's refusal. One theory is purely business. He wanted to keep his Marvel reentry under wraps, possibly in an entirely different capacity than a wisecracking cameo alongside Ryan. Another theory suggests that he simply prefers to return to the MCU with a more serious storyline that doesn't run the risk of overshadowing Tony Stark's epic Endgame send-off. But then there's the more scandalous angle. The controversies around Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have become too visible for RDJ to ignore. Hollywood is rife with cautionary tales of stars who soared too fast and burned out just as quickly because of toxic relationships, manipulative tactics, or public fallouts. Could RDJ, with his decades of experience, be steering clear of a collision course? Fan theories on social media run wild. Some argue that Ryan's alleged treatment of co-stars and attempts to sideline certain actors is reaching critical mass, where industry veterans feel they must pick a lane. Others note that Marvel is known for closely monitoring its brand image, meaning big names like RDJ might be quietly encouraged not to associate with negative press swirling around a fellow Marvel star. Complicating matters is the question of how much these rumors truly represent real events versus sensationalized gossip. Hollywood has always thrived on secrets, half-truths, and spin. It's possible Ryan and Blake are being painted with an unfairly broad brush. After all, they've never come out publicly to address these controversies in detail. Then again, sometimes silence speaks volumes. Regardless, the swirl of speculation has overshadowed what might have been a straightforward cameo story. Instead, it's becoming a saga about power dynamics, controlling behavior, and the extremes some individuals might go to in order to maintain a particular public image. If even half of the rumored allegations are true, Ryan's once sterling reputation is in serious jeopardy. Hollywood thrives on reinvention. A star once labeled troubled can transform into a beloved icon with the right string of hits, philanthropic efforts, or heartfelt interviews. Ryan Reynolds himself turned from rom-com staple to edgy Marvel antihero, winning over a new generation of fans. But the same industry that lifts you can also tear you down if you're not careful. Now, a tide seems to be turning. First, you have TJ Miller's allegations of an unsettling on-set dynamic, shots fired from a comedic actor who had little to gain by speaking out. Then Marina Baccarin's subtle mention of her disappointment in not having more to do in the sequels. Add to that Candace Owens reporting on a possible sabotage orchestrated by Ryan against Justin Baldoni, plus Martha Stewart's sly jab about his off-screen persona. The consistent thread is that something about Ryan's supposed good guy aura isn't adding up. Blake Lively, who many admired for her confident fashion sense and comedic social media banter with Ryan, isn't escaping scrutiny either. Her rumored spat with Anna Kendrick points to deeper issues about who calls the shots when the cameras aren't rolling. The real question is whether these stories are simply indicative of ambitious personalities clashing in a tough industry, or if they're symptoms of a more widespread pattern of controlling behavior. For fans and industry watchers, that distinction matters. Robert Downey Jr. stepping away from any direct collaboration with Ryan might be a small part of a much bigger picture. Perhaps our DJ sees the writing on the wall, or maybe he's just pivoting toward projects that align better with his vision. Either way, this refusal has ignited a larger debate about star power, moral responsibility, and how fandom can sometimes blind us to the flaws of our favorite personalities. As Hollywood's narrative evolves around these major players, audiences might be in for a dramatic shift in how Ryan and Blake are perceived. Because if there's one thing the entertainment world teaches us time and again, it's that reputations can fall apart faster than a box office flop. So, what's really driving Robert Downey Jr. away from Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool 3? We may never know every hidden detail, but the overlapping rumors of manipulative behavior, sabotage, and behind-the-scenes tension offer a possible clue. Ryan's public image still sparkles with comedic bravado, but behind that shine lies a growing trail of dissatisfaction. Co-stars who feel sidelined, directors who walk away, and allegations from well-placed industry figures about how he wields his power. As for Blake Lively, her involvement seems to be more than just a supportive spouse on the sidelines. If the claims are to be believed, she actively orchestrates or at least endorses moves that keep her on top and push others down. Perhaps it's a survival mechanism in a cutthroat industry, or maybe it's simply two people protecting their empire. Either way, it's turning longtime fans into skeptics. Robert Downey Jr. has weathered personal and professional storms and emerged as a Hollywood legend. If he's wary of sharing the spotlight with Ryan and Blake, maybe he's spotted warning signs the rest of us are only just starting to see. For viewers and fans, it's a reminder that glitz and glamour can hide some unsettling truths. Looking ahead, the real question is whether Ryan and Blake can navigate the mounting controversies. Will they address the rumors head-on or quietly push forward, hoping the news cycle moves on? And how will this shifting perception affect the roles they land, the projects they develop, or the fans who once championed their every move? Only time will tell if these revelations mark a turning point or just a temporary bump in two powerhouse careers. But one thing is certain, Hollywood's shiny veneer has cracks, and once you see them, it's hard to look away. The events unfolding around Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively might just be one more reminder that in Tinseltown, the most shocking stories often linger where the public rarely gets to peek.